I have a question. The great debate. I know we're supposed to say the turkey is the star of the show, and visually on the table for Thanksgiving it is. But the thing that people seem to talk about the most and fight about the most tends to be the stuffing. Should it be bread? Should it be cornbread? Some weird combination of the two. Oysters. Oh, no, no oysters. Meat, no meat. Fruit, no fruit. All the things. Today I humbly share with you my recipe that I have perfected over the course of 10 years. It is made from scratch, but it is easy. And I just want to share it with you. Perhaps you'll give it a try if you're open to trying a new one. And I hope you love it. We do. And every once in a while I say, I'm going to try a new stuffing this year, just to annoy my family and watch them get upset. I'm a jerk. Let's do this. Okay, here we go. This is our baguette recipe I've already shared with you. It's all cubed up, and we did this in advance. And then what I do is I cube it up. Now, obviously, all the pieces are not exactly the same. It's not store-bought. It's going to, some pieces are going to be big. Some people, pieces are going to be like this. Nobody cares. What we're going to do is we're going to put it in the oven at 225 degrees and dry it out. We want this bread to be able to just drink in. We want it to be super thirsty. That's the entire point. So, I mean, if it's not able to just kind of crumble like this, leave it in longer, okay? The sausage. We have a sausage series coming for you, and usually we use our homemade. I did not get there. It's a new channel, and I'm trying to get to everything as fast as I can, but I'm a work in progress. So what I did, and I've done it before, in full disclosure, I used Jimmy Dean sage flavor sausage. It works great in this recipe. Do I prefer our homemade? Yes. Is this a pretty decent stand-in? Absolutely. And since I can't show you how to make the homemade yet, I'm going to use this because I want to make sure I'm showing you exactly what is available to you instead of what I haven't shown you yet. Another thing, I ordinarily would use, and I have it on my shelf, chicken stock. But again, I haven't gotten to that recipe with you yet. So I tried this product called Better Than Bouillon. And I've tested it 3 times. And I have to say, I'm almost embarrassed to admit it, but the truth is the truth. This is really good. Surprisingly good, actually. I was impressed. So I think I'll keep that, actually. We've got 2 eggs, carrots, celery, and onions, all prepared in advance because we don't need stress when we're trying to make Thanksgiving. We're supposed to be enjoying it too. So that's all made in advance. We've got our pecorino romano. We've got some chopped up garlic and a stick of butter. Oh, and some white wine. Now, there is one small debate that we have happening in this house, and that's over the fruit. Half the family likes it with the apple. When we use apple, it is Granny Smith. My husband does not like fruit in his food, is what he always says. I don't want fruit in my food. Therefore, I end up splitting off and making one batch that is without apple and one batch that's with. I figured in the interest of not driving myself crazy today, because we're still weeks away from Thanksgiving, we're just going to eat this because it's good, today or tomorrow, because I have to make this all over again in a few weeks. But I'm not going to include the apples today because my husband will be upset. So we're going to just go ahead and get this started. We start off with browning our sausage, and then we add our vegetables, and we just layer on from there. This is easy, and it is so delicious. I'm going to move the camera over to the pan so we can go ahead and get started and watch how easy this is. All right, so we're going to start by browning our sausage. Ordinarily, would I use a larger pan? Yes, but I'm using one of those induction countertop things, and it doesn't seem to enjoy it when I use a larger pan. So on this one, do as I say, not as I do, and please don't crowd the pan. We're going to brown this, not 100%, but pretty close. We want to get some nice color. We want the fat to start to render. And we're going to build flavor in here by all the things that stick to the bottom. We're going to add our vegetables, we're going to let them brown, and we're going to increase what we have going on the bottom. What that's called is fond, F-O-N-D. and then we're going to deglaze. And that combination of things is just a huge flavor bomb that we're going to be able to add to our stuffing. So taking the time to brown everything is worth it. So you see we're starting to stick on the bottom. You see that brown? That's happening right there. That's what we want. Pretty much in anything you're doing, it's that flavor building that makes all the difference. If you rush it, you just can't get it. So now we're going to get a bowl ready to transfer our cooked sausage to so that we can get our vegetables ready to go. But this isn't done yet. We want much more browning than this. And just so you know, this will be baked after we finish this process. So it's not about cooking it through, it's about building that flavor. We're ready from here. We're going to transfer this into our bowl. But we're going to use this. And what this is going to do for us is it's going to leave the fat in the pan because that's where we need it. We're going to continue to use that fat and we're going to build on it. So we don't want to move the fat to the bowl. We want the fat to stay in the pot. That's the deliciousness that we are going to cook our vegetables in. A little bit that sticks to the bottom is fine, no problem. I'd rather leave a little bit of meat in the pan than take the fat out and put it in the bowl. This will be my last little grab. And from here, we're going to go right in. Nice and hot. We're going to go in with our garlic. We're going to add a bit of oil. And the minute you can smell the garlic, it's released its oil, its flavor. We go right in with our carrots, celery, and onions. Now this does take a while to cook because we want this to soften and pick up some caramelization. When you add your carrots, celery, and onions, you want to add seasoning for the first time. And here you're going to add salt and pepper. Adding salt now and at a few other stages allows you to layer flavor as you go. It's much more delicious to layer your flavors than try to add all your seasoning right at the end. If you add it all at the end, it just kind of reads as salty. Now this is going to take a little while. And one of the things that we want to add are 2 bay leaves. We're about halfway now. So because we added salt, the cell walls of all the vegetables have broken open, which causes them to release a lot of liquid. And then as the liquid evaporates, it's going to start to caramelize and we'll know that we're there. If you recall, when we first put the vegetables in, the line was up to almost 4 quarts. Now, look how far down we are. That's all loss from liquid. Those flavors have intensified and become really quite delicious. Now, before we mix our vegetables and everything together with our bread, we have to make sure that we remove our bay leaves. And it's important that you remember how many you put in. Bay leaves can cause a choking, so we want to definitely be careful about that. Because I tend to be forgetful, I tend to write down, just make a quick little note on a Post-it, how many I put in, so I can make sure that I'm counting that many when I'm taking them out. So now I'm hoping you can hear this sizzling, which is much louder. There's a fond in the bottom of the pan now. There's no more liquid. The vegetables have begun to brown. This is when we are going to deglaze with our white wine. And we want to make sure we, once again, lift all those yummy bits off the bottom of the pan. We're going to go ahead and cook this until the smell of alcohol is gone and the liquid has almost disappeared. Not completely, because we're working with evaporation, but just almost. I'll show you. Now you see the very big bubbles. That lets us know that we're ready for the next step. And we're going to add our chicken or turkey stock. Ordinarily, if this was actually Thanksgiving and I weren't doing this in advance, I would be using turkey stock. We're going to bring that up to a boil, and then we're going to move back to our countertop so we can finish assembling. Okay, so let's summarize. We've got our bread ready to go in a nice big bowl. We've got our sausage cooked. I tripped over my own feet. We've got our vegetables that we have caramelized beautifully, melted butter, our chicken stock. It would be turkey stock if it were actually Thanksgiving or the week of Thanksgiving, and our white wine. That's waiting for us here. We've got heavy cream. We've got green onions and flat leaf parsley. Flat leaf parsley is the parsley that has actual real flavor. Curly leaf parsley is really nice for decorations and garnishing a plate, but I don't find that it has a whole lot of flavor. And in professional kitchens, it's not used. So if that matters to you, there you go. I'm going to tell you something about this pan. Now, this looks like a really ugly, uninteresting pan in a pretty cute place, if I do say so. This is a commercial kitchen pan. This is called a hotel pan, and it is a half size, meaning if there was another one, you know, this wide, it would be a full-size hotel pan. We use a lot of these. It's what we know, and we're comfortable with them. But I would recommend, if you have access to this, I don't know if I can link it. If I can, I will. These are really handy to have. They cook great. They handle a beating. This one has been with us through all sorts of nonsense. I mean, this one has literally been with us through 6 states. And it's about to be used again. I use it for Thanksgiving. It's the perfect size for one of the batches of stuffing, and then when I make another, because of the apple thing, I use another. So this is a really great thing to have. Big old hotel pans, also great. They fit in the oven. You can do a lot of great things with them. They're not fragile. That you don't have to worry about scratching. You don't have to worry about, oh no, did I use metal in a pan or wood? None of that. Commercial stuff, while it's not necessarily pretty, is worth its weight in gold, and I stand by it. Okay, so I'm going to spray this so that our stuffing doesn't stick. It's not likely it will, but I don't want problems. So we just really, it's more about the sides. Okay, so now into our bowl, we've got our bread. We're going to add our sausage and all of that juice that it was left with. Waste not, want not. Okay, now I'm just going to move that around so I can have more room. Okay. Now, here we have, let's move everything over so I have a little bit of room to work. Here we have, it's very liquidy. I just showed it to you, you saw it. So now we're going to take our vegetables and our broth, our melted butter. The smell is absolutely incredible. And now we have found bay leaf number 2 and stuck to the bottom, bay leaf number 3. Okay, so we'll go ahead and set that aside. We're just going to move everything around so that there's a bit more room, because we have just a few things left to add. We're going to beat our eggs. Why are we using eggs and heavy cream? This is going to go into the oven and have this beautiful brown, crumbly, crisp top. But what we're also looking for is that combination of that beautiful brown, crisp burnished top with this little bit of almost a souffle-like behavior. Not in a huge way, but just enough to give you this beautiful lightness. And it helps offset some of that fat from the sausage and all that stuff. And it ends up being this beautiful flavor. So for that reason, we use cream and eggs. Okay. It's on my foot. Hold on. Oh gosh. I'm telling you, somebody keeps moving the floor. I always make sure that I beat my eggs before I put them into anything. Nothing worse than chasing around whole eggs, trying to make sure that they're evenly distributed. And then I'm going to add it to my cream. Why am I adding it to the cream? Because I want everything to be very, very homogenized. I want this mixture to be the same all the way through. So I don't want a spot that's got a lot of egg, and so this avoids that. We're going to go ahead and add this. Now this is a fish spatula, and I like to use this because it's got a lot of open tines, I guess you'd call it, which allows everything to move through instead of just being stuck on my spoon. So, and we're going to go all the way to the bottom and bring the dry bread up to the top. And this is going to sit so that it can absorb all of that flavor that we just added. And we want this to cool down just a bit before we add our cheese and our fresh herbs. Because if we do that, our herbs will turn a kind of a yucky brown color. And we want them to be beautiful. So I'm going to keep stirring this, and I'm going to let this cool, and we'll be right back. We're almost done now. We are going to add our cheese, and it just adds a super savory note. It doesn't read as some sort of an Italian dish. It does not. It just adds this beautiful savoriness. Okay, so we stir that through. Then we're going to add our scallions and our flat leaf parsley. We're going to season. This is onion and garlic powder. Black pepper. Salt. And we're going to stir this. Make sure everything is, we don't want one bite to taste different than the next. We want them all to be absolutely delicious. So I'm going to get this all stirred in. And then we've got the oven preheating to 400 degrees. Now what this has to do is it has to sit for about 30 minutes. We really want all the liquid that's going to be absorbed into that bread. We don't want to go right into the oven just yet, but we're going to go right into our pan, and then we can clean up. And if it were Thanksgiving, this is easy to do in advance. You can do this 2 days ahead. I wouldn't go more than 2. I usually do this Wednesday night. Okay, if we just dump this in, the weight, because it is significant, would just push everything down. That's not what we want. I want to leave some air in between so that we get that beautiful texture. If we squish it all down, we will not get that texture that we're looking for. So that's why I take it using this particular fish spatula. You can use anything you have that works this way, it doesn't matter. I just find that this works really well, and I even it out without pressing down. We don't want it to have the texture or that kind of cohesive texture that you might find with like a bread pudding. That's not what we're looking for. And this will not have it, but we want to make sure, because it's only got 2 eggs in it, but we want to make sure that we have a gentle touch when we put this in. Plus, by doing it this way, we leave the top with these little craggly little areas, dips and valleys and all that stuff. And that allows us to have spots that will get really nice and caramelized and brown and crisp, while other spots stay moist and creamy, and you get the most beautiful texture that's both, it's kind of like it reads both at the same time. Okay, so that's why I spread this like this with the tip of my fish spatula. I'm not smoothing it down. And I'm going to let this sit at room temperature for 30 minutes. Then it's going to go into the oven at 400 degrees, and I'll show you the next step. And there she is, fresh out of the oven. This is the reason that we're careful not to close all of our gaps. We want those peaks and valleys. So we get this. If you could smell it in here, you wouldn't believe it. I already stole a piece from right there. This is extremely hot. When it cools down just a little, I'll cut into it and show you the inside.